Happy weekend to you all. Today I'll be sharing a simple but very delicious chocolate cake recipe. You are going to love it. So here's the drill. I'll start by buttering our pan. Is it a word like buttering? Sounds weird. I'm using this bad boy over here to save me the stress. Next, I'll go on to cut and place the parchment paper in the pan. This usually takes a lot of time. It's fun though. Parchment paper and the stress that comes with it though. In our next video, I'll be showing you a step-by-step process to achieve a round shape with this baking sheet. So we're going to fold this baking sheet into many squares, and at the end would just make it like a kite. Here we have it, a perfect round 8-inch baking paper. We'll proceed to line our pan with this. An extra lining for the sides of the pan to avoid the cake sticking to the aluminum. I'm going to line this perfectly and make sure that there is no point showing. I'm going to go ahead and cover the extra. I'll start by measuring our dry ingredients. Let's keep this aside. In a bowl, I'm measuring and sieving 240 grams of flour. We sieve because we want our flour to be particle free. Another reason is to loosen the flour so we can obtain a more fluffy baked good. Right here, I'm just taking out the excess. Next, I would go on to add the sugar, 400 grams, which is equivalent to 2 cups of sugar. You can use less if you want to. And because it's a chocolate cake, we need the cocoa powder. Half cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Give this a good sieve to loosen the clumps. I'll go on to add the rest of the dry ingredients. I'm adding 1.5 teaspoon baking soda, 1.5 teaspoon baking powder, and half teaspoon salt. Then sieve. We want to ensure that there are no rocks of baking powder and baking soda in the mix. Baking powder and baking soda are leavening agents and they help the baked goods to rise. So we'll go on to mix these dry ingredients together. Keep this aside. Over to the wet ingredients, I'm using 2 large eggs at room temperature, half cup of vegetable oil, and 1 cup of liquid milk. This is my homemade liquid milk, which usually consists of 5 to 8 tablespoons of dry milk and a cup of water. We are going to whisk this all together using our whisks. And before I forget, I will go on to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla flavor or any flavor of choice. At this stage, I have a kettle of water on the stove, which we are going to use later. Now we are bringing the wet and dry ingredients together. We'll mix and fold. Do not over mix this batter at this point because of the presence of flour. If flour is over mixed, the gluten in it becomes activated and this would result in the dense or sunken cakes. We're going to fold this for 15 seconds and add our cup of boiling water and go on to mix again for another 10 seconds. Now, even if you see some clumps of unmixed particles, it's fine. It will dissolve in the oven. Speaking of oven, it should be on and preheating for 5 minutes before we pop the batter in. Usually, I bake this batter in 2 8-inch cake tins, but I'm using 1 and 2 foil plates here. I'm sure this isn't the tin you saw in the beginning of the video, but don't worry, it works just fine. After 45 minutes of this cake baking in the oven, and a toothpick comes out almost dry. This is what our chocolate cake looks like. It is soft, fluffy, fudgy, and overall delicious. I enjoy this cake with my family. When you try this, I'd love to know what you think about this recipe in the comment section. Do well to like and subscribe. See you again. Bye.